Hey everyone, Sari here, and welcome back to another week of Astra Season offense matches. I managed to find my first legendary Claude on Ashera's banner, and this week felt like a great chance to give him his debut on my offense teams. I was a bit nervous about him at the start. I hadn't really used him much before now, and hit and run strategies aren't something I've used much. But even without any merges, isolation support, or a second dancer, he still aced every match this week. Fail Not is a fantastic weapon. Its built-in null follow-up lets Claude turn every fight into a normal speed check, and when he's reaching up to 77 speed, he's usually winning those. It works really well both attacking and defending, especially in combination with Fallen Star. The slaying effect gives him much easier access to his special too. I'd like to give him Ruptured Sky at some point, but he'll probably have to wait a while for that. Fallen Star, meanwhile, is the skill that really lets Claude stand out. Even with the first hit limitation, 80% damage reduction is incredibly powerful, letting him initiate onto almost any target safely. It also gives him a way to survive the enemy phase afterwards if he needs to tank a hit. The gravity half of the effect usually gets overshadowed by the damage reduction, but being able to limit his opponent's movement is a really important part of his kit. Used well, it allows him total control over the enemy team's actions, preventing them from retaliating effectively. Most of the rest of his skills are baseline. Attack Speed Catch is a really strong skill, especially when paired with Blumeria's Sabotage, and the multi-phase stats work really well for Claude. The Rain helps him secure speed checks and punch through even the bulkiest targets, while Luna's a solid dependable special. Blade Session is a great seal for him. While he would prefer multi-phase stats, it's usually more important for him to have the extra attack and speed in the player phase, and solo or bond skills can be a bit unreliable. Catria is mostly here as the team's bonus unit. While I do have Ashera on the team as well, using her outside the 6th slot would actually lower the lift gained per match. Catria's Orders buff ended up being an incredibly useful bit of utility, and really helped me navigate the fights. Triangle Attack was also helpful, giving Claude a few key openings through the week to break down some exceptionally resilient targets. Having a second Canto on the team gave me a lot of extra options too, even if I did get it mixed up with Reagan's a couple of times. The Mythics are mostly here as extra support. Reagan is an excellent Bright Shrine soaker for Claude, while Naga actually wound up soaking Dark Shrines. Ashera provides the team with easy access to a full spectrum of buffs, while also carrying Chill Defense to help Claude punch through any really bulky opponents. Plumeria's kit isn't really tailored to supporting Claude, but the Close and Distant Guard combo actually saved his life in one of the later matches. So now that we've gone over the team, let's get to the first match. This one's going to be a fun way to start the week. I haven't seen an armor ball like this in a while, where it's just a set of armors all using wards and other stuff. The near save Hector is a nice touch. I think it's actually a really good skill for him. And the odd recovery restores Zephyrin. He's also using a March, which helps these two move around a bit. They've got a Flora and a Duma. Only one mythic kind of holds them back a bit. And the corner Edelgard, who has a little bit of space to move around at least. This one's going to be a fun match just because I haven't really used this team very much yet, and I'm interested to see how well it does. I think if I've done the math and stuff correctly, this should actually go really well for us. I'm going to start off by testing these traps. Okay, so that's the real one. That's fine.
Wait for me.
And then we can use Canto to test this trap, which is fake, okay? Then we'll dance Catria back down here.
Yes.
Reposition Claude over this way.
Sure thing. Over here?
And we'll have Reagan get in position to take this first Aether pot next turn. Alright. So from here, I'm going to start by having Reagan pick this up. And then I should be able to just have Claude massacre this Edelgard very, very easily.
Close your
And
eyes.
then we can dance him
Let's go.
and jump back down to safety.
Yes. It will be done.
We'll get Naga in range of Catria's orders buffs as well. And say go. Not having a dancer means that we don't really have to respect this range too much.
Over here?
So from here, I'm going to start by having Reagan move out of the way of Edelgard. And we should just be able to have Claude
What's this?
pick off Flora. And since Hector isn't marching this turn, we can just dance and reposition out of the way.
Why not?
So we're actually just going to finish Hector off here, since apparently Claude can manage that.
Clear a path.
Fallen Star is kind of insane. Okay, and then we'll move Ashera down here,
What is your desire?
which will let me flip Plumeria to safety,
Not my
and flip
first
Claude to
choice.
safety as well. And from here it should be very easy to clean up Duma and Sephirin.
Close your eyes.
What's
I'm gonna get
this?
another triangle attack for this. Not that Claude really needs it, but
To be by his side.
There is but one future.
Yes.
Yeah.
okay. And we should be able to pick off Edelgard and pick up the pot here.
I am
Let's
the
start by
answer.
picking this up.
Let's go.
Claude can get this.
Oh,
We'll dance
I'll
him.
do it. It will be done.
It's not going to matter if that's a real trap since we have an orders buff. And then he picks off Edelgard. Catria is a really good enabler for Claude, actually. It's good to see. Let's see what we get next time. So this is going to be another interesting one. I don't know so much about this setup. Even if it's not completely walled in, there's a very limited path out, and La Rochelle is pretty easy to snipe, even though she is fully merged and invested. It's fun to see a unit like this get this much love. I've also got a Zeke, and this menace skill is actually in a really great spot to hit almost the entire map. This Zane's an interesting choice too. He's actually getting pretty solid stats thanks to Tiki, Mirabilis, and Zeke. And La Rochelle for the speed. It's fun to see him, along with this Halloween Tiki. And a pre-charged Glimmer Lysithia with Wings of Mercy. She can hit really hard with this. And a Mirabilis as a Dancer and Mythic. I don't think this one's going to cause me too many problems, but I will need to take a few turns just to set up for it.
I am the answer.
To start by making sure we can pick
I
up
won't lose.
this pot on the left.
What's this?
And we'll have Claude test this trap.
Why not?
Sure thing.
Okay, that one was real, as expected.
Wait for me.
We can flip him back down to safety.
It will be done.
Let's get Ashera back over this way. And here we can have Reagan pick up this fountain and retreat out of range. And we'll
Not my
have
first
Catria
choice.
canto off of this lantern and move into position.
There is but one future.
Ashera can move here,
Yes.
Naga can move over, and we'll get ready to start this off.
What is your
From
desire?
here, we're going to flip Catria this way,
Sure thing.
which lets Claude jump in and take down Zeke.
To be by his
We'll have
side.
Catria move over one space,
Why not?
we'll dance Naga, and Naga can pull Claude
It will
back.
be done.
Yeah.
And nothing should actually be able to reach us, even with the dancer, since Tiki's the only one out of the rest of them that actually has her full movement. So we should be fine. And they even end up staying in the same formation.
What's this?
So since they ended up staying put, we can actually just have Claude pick off Tiki. Nice and easy.
Hold a grudge if you must.
We're going to
Not my
have
first
Catria
choice.
move in here to open up a space for us to reach this pot later. Stay put. Naga
Yes.
can move here.
Oh, I'll do
We'll
it.
dance Claude, and he can pick
Let's
off
go.
La Rochelle. I'm not expecting either of the mages to get in range of him, but even if they do, he
Yes.
should be fine.
I won't lose.
Okay, and we'll say go. What I think will happen is Mirabilis will move forward and get repositioned again. Yep.
I am
So
the
from here,
answer.
we're going to have Ashera pick this second Aether pot up.
Wait for me.
We'll have Catria take out this Panic Matter. Actually goofed a little and added an extra movement when I shouldn't have. I thought I'd be able to get Catria back out here. Still learning the team, but it's okay.
Close
What I can
your
do
eyes.
is just dance her
To be by
and
his
move her
side.
down this way.
Let's go.
And Claude can pick off Lysithia, which will stop Zane from being able to reach anyone else. And since he does get to keep Fallen Star for the first attack in the enemy phase, he won't really take much damage from the Zane at all, even if Zane had a lot of attack to work with.
Over here? What is your desire?
Yep. That's not getting much done.
Ready or not, here it comes.
And then that just leaves Mirabilis. It's very easy for Claude to finish
Sure
off.
thing.
That went pretty well. A couple of awkward moments, but we made it through. On to the next one. This is an interesting layout. It's kind of similar to my old Dark Defense, actually. They've got a plus 10 Elliewood headlining their team. And when he's backed up by 3 mythics, he gets some pretty solid stats to work with. We've got a Wings of Light boosted Thracier, and an Aerobatics Mirabilis to help keep things unpredictable. We've also got Edelgard, who has her own Warrior's buff, Distant Ward's interesting to keep for her. I think she might be better off with a different skill, but... We also got a Flora, who has got Armor March for their Brave Hector. It's a fairly low investment team overall, but I think it can still be pretty effective just by virtue of being hard to engage on, and having some pretty solid reach if you do try to snipe something and then hit and run. That said, that's exactly what I'm planning to do with this. And I think I've gotten the movement predicted properly, at least for the first couple of turns.
Sure thing.
So we're going to take one turn just to get in position.
Yes.
Over here? Not my first
Catria
choice.
can flip Plumeria
Why
up,
not?
and we can pick this first pot up.
I am the answer.
So by doing this, we actually set ourselves up for a very easy triangle attack on Ceres next turn. And since there's no real trap with this 7th unit layout, we can set up like this without worrying about having anything start moving.
Yes.
So we'll smite Claude forward and test this trap, which isn't real.
What's this?
And, well, effective damage and triangle attack means that Claude doesn't really care about Ceres' damage reduction.
Yeah.
Then we can have Reagan reposition him here, and she can retreat all the way here.
It will be done.
Ashera can get flipped back.
Oh, I'll do it.
We'll dance Claude.
To be by his side.
Catria can break this throne and stay in one
Let's go.
spot, while Claude flips Plumeria into the back. And from here we should be out of range even if Hollywood got danced, which he shouldn't. Nope. So
Yes.
planning this third turn out took a little bit of thinking, since I don't think I can actually snipe 2 units safely. So it'll be best if I just pick one unit off and retreat again. I'm going to aim for Edelgard here.
I am the answer.
By moving Ashera up here,
Let's go.
we should enable Claude's triangle attack, and he should be able to take her out without too many problems.
Ha! I won't back down.
Then we're going to have
will be
Naga
done.
jump into this corner,
I won't lose.
have Reagan flip Ashera down and out of the way. And she can retreat to this corner.
Why not?
Plumeria can dance Claude.
Wait for
Then
me.
Catria can pull Plumeria to a safer spot, retreat,
Sure
and
thing.
then we'll have Claude move down here. So from here, I think Thracier will be able to attack Claude, but since he's already got Fallen Star active for the next turn, it shouldn't matter too much. Yep, dance, and we shall go after Claude. Which is fine, he can take that hit.
Let's
So
go.
from here, it should be pretty easy to clean things up. We'll start by picking off Elywood.
Ready or not, here it comes.
Close your eyes.
And then we can dance him.
Not my first choice.
We'll just flip Plumeria. And pull back a space.
Sure thing.
And then he can deal with Flora.
Ha!
And hopefully this will fully charge Luna for the next turn, and we'll deal with Hector.
There is but one future.
Ashera can move in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from here, we're safe. Even though Hector gets danced, he can only move one space at a time, so it's very easy just to kite him around. And from here we
Yes.
can finish the match off. Ashera can pick up this pot.
What's this?
Claude can handle Hector.
Hold a grudge if you must.
And then we can
I'll
dance
do
and
it.
forward
Let's go.
and close out the match.
Huh.
That went pretty well. Let's see what we get next time. This one's going to be an interesting match. I was wondering if I'd run into Kef lines, and I wasn't sure how easy it would be to handle them with Claude, since Claude really needs to be able to attack once before he can tank something in the enemy phase. And Kef lines are usually pretty good about not letting you do that in the first place. A triple mythic Kef line is an interesting idea, especially with no dancers involved. But there are a lot of pretty significant threats to worry about here, mostly coming from Miss Lynn and the Lilina. But this Levitain is deceptively fast as well. She reaches 50 speed thanks to the Hone and her solo. And Veronica is always a bit of a pain to deal with. I don't think I'm going to have too many problems with this though. Since we can use Ashera to tank this Veronica, or bait her forward at least. Which will be a good way
I
to
won't lose.
get
It
this
will be
map
done.
started.
Yes.
She shouldn't need a speed buff to tank Veronica.
What's this?
And I'm also going to have Claude take down this tactic room
To be by his side. Why not?
before dancing him and
Let's
having
go.
him take out the Panic Manor as well. While I don't need to worry about the Panic Manor too much, since we have a null panic effect from Ashera, it does give us a bit more space to maneuver around without breaking this wall that they've helpfully constructed in the corner.
Yes.
So from here, we're going to flip Claude up a space,
Sure thing.
and we're going to start by taking out Leaf.
Huh.
And by taking out Leaf first, it lets us dance Claude afterwards, and actually pull him out of the threat range of everything behind
Close your
Veronica.
eyes.
What's this? Hold a grudge if you must.
And then from here,
Wait for me.
Catria can jump over, break this one, and move up.
There is but one
We'll get
future.
Ashera over here
Over
to
here?
continue buffing Claude, and move Reagan up as well. Another restore, and then everything else starts moving forward.
There is but one
Here
future.
we're going to actually have a little bit of fun with Kento. I'm going to smite Catria up to test this first trap, and it is real. Okay. That's fine.
What's this?
Claude can still jump over here thanks to the orders buff and pick off Veronica, which also has the helpful side effect of applying gravity to everything around her.
To be by
Catria
his side.
can flip Claude, and then retreat back to where she started, which is out of range of Lilina now.
I'll do
We
it.
can dance Claude,
Yeah.
reposition Plumeria, and have Reagan start working her way over here.
What's
And
this?
then we'll have Claude pick off Ceres. He will be in range of Levitain still, who should be able to attack him next turn. But not too worried about that, since we do have Fallen Star and there's no way she ever doubles him, so.
What is your
And
desire?
from here, we should just be able to wait in place. Yep, Levitain moves into attack. She's not going to get much damage done. So from here, we're actually going to deliberately stall this out a bit,
Over here?
since we do still want to pick these ether pots up. Okay, that's the real trap. Very good.
Sure thing.
So what we're going to do is just have Claude pick off Lilina,
Ready or not, here it comes.
which limits the entire threat range of both of them to these two spaces.
It will be done.
They'll have Naga break this.
Wait for me.
Yes.
Move Ashera over one
Not my
space.
first
Catria
choice.
can flip Claude down and out of the way, and from here we're basically set. Oh, that's rude. So, I think I might have miscalculated a bit
What
by
is your
moving Naga
desire?
here, since it makes Tracer chase her this way instead of down towards Claude. But that's
Wait
okay.
for me.
We're going to make this work anyway.
There is but one future.
What's this?
Down goes Thracier.
Ha!
Close
And we'll
your
just
eyes.
dense Catria, which debuffs Levitain and
To be
makes
by
her
his
even
side.
easier to handle. And then we'll
Yes.
just bait her with any of these units, none of which will be able to be knocked out in one hit by her. Okay, she went after Catria. That's fine. And from here,
I
it's
won't
pretty
lose.
easy to pick these pots up
Oh, I'll do it.
before we finish the match.
Yeah.
What is your desire?
Sure thing.
Down goes Levitain. That was fun. I actually didn't expect to be using Claude against Cathline. I figured I'd default to a different team, so it was a fun little change from the usual. Let's see what we get next. This one's a pretty nifty little setup. They're a little bit light on marches, but the way this is structured, it's actually very hard to hit and run against this, which is the strategy I'm planning to use on it anyway. Between the front line being protected by these traps and how difficult it is to actually approach this thanks to the fortress setup and Ceres's Odd Tempest, it's pretty tricky to actually get out of range if you just try to pick off a frontliner and pull back. And they do have a lot of firepower between Ophelia and this pre-charged Astrolysithia, so just trying to tank it can be a little risky too. I think I've figured this out for the most part. And I'm going to spend a couple of turns or one turn at
Over
least,
here?
testing this heavy trap,
Why not?
and then moving into position.
I am the answer.
Going to smite Reagan. And because I didn't use her Kento, she'll be able to use it
What's
here
this?
I won't lose.
to break this statue, and then get back out of range.
Not my first choice.
And
It will be
move
done.
Naga here. And even though we did leave this tactic room unbroken, which means
Let's
Claude
go.
gets gravity, it's not too bad since we can
Yes.
just smite him forward. And get him into
What's this?
range of dealing with Marth.
Ha!
And since Plumeria is out of the range of this room, we can
Close
just
your
dance him
eyes.
Sure thing.
and have him go pick off Ceres.
Huh.
And from here,
Yes.
we're going to use Kanto to retreat.
Yeah.
And Reagan can get back here,
To be by his side.
while Claude gets pulled back and Catria retreats too. Now from here we should actually be out of range of any of the follow-ups, since Dorcas always moves first, and then gets danced, which means there's only one dance to let Lysithia move up, or Ophelia. and means we're nicely out of range for the next turn. So from here, we can actually just start picking this team apart, since Dorcas is kind of on his own here, and we don't actually have to worry about him getting danced anymore. So we're going to have Claude pick off Lysithia.
Ready or not, here it comes.
I'll do
And then we
it.
can dance him,
Sure thing.
and have him take down Ophelia too.
Ha!
This also gets Mirabilis Gravity'd, so we don't have to worry too much about her next turn.
I won't lose.
I'm going to have Reagan move up, take out this Tactic Rune,
Wait for me.
and Catria can pull Plumeria out of the way, and then stay put, which lets Naga jump up here,
There is but one future.
and Ashera jump up here.
Sure
So
thing.
from here, things actually get a little bit easier to deal with, since the Dancer's lined up for another Gravity from Claude.
Ready or not, here it comes.
And we can just dance him to pick off Mirabilis.
Let's go. Ha!
What is
And
your
we can
desire?
move Naga down.
Yes.
Ashera can break this.
Not my
Can have
first
Catria
choice.
break this one.
Over here?
And Reagan can break this Aether pot.
To be by
So
his
from
side.
here, it's pretty easy to just break this catapult.
I am the answer.
Smite Reagan across the traps.
Yeah.
Have her pick up the second Aether pot.
What's this?
And then let Claude close out the match.
Ha!
It's a fun one to plan out. Going into double dancers without using isolation is a little tricky. Let's see what we get next. So this one is going to be a very interesting map to pick apart, and it'll be interesting to see if I can do this without isolation. We have what looks like a pretty straightforward Sigurd trap with the 7th unit Dimitri, who is, on his own, extremely impressive. Assuming he gets his solo skills online, he becomes a very, very scary unit. But if he's not solo, his entire kit disappears, so you don't really get much in between there. We've also got a duo Leaf for the rally forward, a duo Peony, who is really the only thing that I might have to rethink later on. A return Saul with odd recovery. Interesting to see that they merged him up. A bonus weak Leaf with Wings of Mercy, probably to try and take advantage of the duo Leaf's weapon. And a +6 Ceres on the side. It's a pretty intimidating setup, but if I'm correct in assuming that Sigurd is the one who's going to dance forward, this shouldn't actually be too hard to pick apart. But we'll see.
Sure thing.
I am going to start by assuming that,
Why
and
not?
I'm going to move into position to
What's this?
snipe Peony next turn.
I won't lose. Wait for me.
If Sigurd moves up here, we aren't actually going to be in range of him, since he can only reach up to these tiles, which means that there won't be a rally and there won't be a second dance. Excellent. Alright. Now from here things are going to get a little interesting.
Let's go.
We're going to start by sniping Peony.
Ha!
Then we're going to have Reagan pull Claude back,
Close your eyes.
dance him, and then use him to bait this
What's
secret
this?
forward. Now what this should do is force Secret to attack us, since he can do damage to Claude. Yep.
Yeah.
But thanks to Fallen Star, it really doesn't do very much.
Ready or not, here it comes.
And this gets everybody else moving. So this actually worked out really well with Saul just parking himself up front for us.
Sure thing.
So we're going to start by picking him off. Or using to turn that down that sort of an offer. And then we'll have Plumeria dance him. And with Leaf Gravitied, we can just move back one tile and pick this bolt tower up. This does open up a second opening for them to advance through, but it also means that we can probably pick this Aether pod up next turn.
Not
I'll
my
move
first
Catria up
choice.
this way.
What is your desire?
We'll flip Ashera over here
There is but
to
one
start
future.
buffing people. Oh good.
Why not?
So from here, we're actually going to take a turn just to pick this pod up and let them get out of their corner.
Yes.
I'm going to move Naga over here. I think she's going to be able to pick this pod up by the end of the match, but we'll see. For now, we're just going to sit tight and see where things move. And there's a reposition. Yep. And another one.
Over here?
So the repositions are actually being a very effective stalling tool, but I think I figured out a way to start cracking this open. We're going to start by having Claude pick off Dimitri.
I won't back down.
Nice and easy.
Close your eyes.
We can have Reagan get danced.
To be by his side.
Catria can just pull Claude back and move out of the way.
I
And
won't
just
lose.
move Reagan over this way
Yes.
and get Ashera over here. Oh, they are sticking together. A little bit. So this turn we're going to do
Over
some
here?
interesting tactics and actually take full advantage of Claude's Fallen Star. I'm going to start by moving Reagan this way,
Sure thing.
which lets Claude triangle attack Leaf down, and most importantly charges his Luna. Since from here,
Why not?
we're going to dance him,
What is your
going to
desire?
move Naga up here,
Not my
going to
first
flip
choice.
Plumeria this way, and we can move Catria up,
There is
then
but
we can
one
smite
future.
Claude forward. And this isn't something we have to worry about, thanks to Ashera,
What's this?
so I'll just have him move forward and snipe the Leaf.
Hold a grudge if you must.
And it should be very easy for him to tank Saros here, so not too worried about her. It did run us to the very end of the turns, but it should be pretty easy for Claude to clean this up.
I won't back down.
Very nice. That was a fun one to figure out. On to the next one. So this is going to be an interesting match at the end of the week. It's a Cavline running an Odd Recovery Veronica, with a Mirabilis backing her up. And I don't know if I've quite figured this out properly, but I think I have. I do have plenty of ladders at this point. I've still got all of them right now, so... Oh, right, and so plus 10 Thracier. A very impressive Thracier over here. Even outside her bonus weeks, at this point, at this level of investment, she can actually be a pretty solid threat. So, the idea I'm working with here is that I'm going to try to manipulate the AI and basically have all of our fights turn out in our favor. Since we can't actually avoid this turn 1 engagement, there's 4 lanes being threatened here and we only have 5 safe spaces right now. And I can't really trust this space too much because I'm not sure who's going to move and get danced first. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to take a slightly more aggressive approach. And Catria cantos up here. We're going to smite Claude, give him his full set of buffs. We can have Claude break this flag. And then Plumeria can use the Orders buff to dance up here.
Sure thing.
And we'll have Claude take down Melina. Now from here, Veronica can only attack Claude for the first hit. And that should immediately get her danced by Mirabilis. But since Veronica can't actually find a knockout from there on either Claude or Catria or Plumeria, even if she ends up here, she should attack the person that she does the most damage to.
Yeah.
Which, in this case, should be Catria. So, we'll see if I figured this out correctly. And a lot of this comes down to Mia not being able to kill Claude either. Let's attack number 1. And... oh, that's right, Mirabilis can attack here. We should still be okay. Ooh, close one.
Ready or not, here it comes.
Well, it's not quite enough to knock him out. So, I actually somehow forgot that Mirabilis would be able to aerobatics forward and hit Claude here, but he still survived it, which is important. So from here, what we're going to do is actually have Catria bait Reinhardt forward. And we can do that just by moving her here. She can break this first, too. And then, we're going to have Claude break Mirabilis. Then dance him forward. And even without his weapon active, he can still triangle attack Veronica down. And from here, we're completely out of range of Thracier, and the only person Reinhardt can attack is Catria.
What is your desire?
And we can even get Ashera in range to buff Claude next turn. Very good stuff. Catria's got enough health and triangle advantage to survive Reinhardt for 1 turn. Which makes the rest of this a pretty easy cleanup.
Let's go.
We'll just start by picking off Reinhardt.
I won't back down.
Before we dance him
What's this?
to take down Thracier. from here, picking up the pots shouldn't be too hard.
Over here?
Can actually just have Reagan take that out and Kanto over this way.
Yes.
Yes.
And just move over here. Ceres isn't going anywhere until we're ready to deal with her, so...
Wait for me.
Just flip Reagan up this way. This is the real trap. We can just step on that, it won't hurt.
Yeah.
There is but one future. I am the answer.
Sure thing.
And we can take Ceres down. Very good.
Why not?
What's this?
We got a little close there, but Claude pulled through in the end.
Huh.
Alright, on to hopefully the last match of the week. This one's going to be a fun way to close the week out. They've got a maxed out Eliwood. X-Breaker is an interesting option for his B slot. It's a pretty budget and usable skill, but kind of odd to have it at rank 1. And Reinhardt, who is using a fully leveled Lancebreaker. It seems like a pretty solid Brave Hector check with this set. He's also part of a bit of a sneaky trap with this Dorothea. And if I'm reading this map right, what they're hoping to do is catch somebody off guard when Dorothea dances Eliwood, which extends this threat range by 1 tile. And as long as Dorothea is able to attack something, or is in range of being attacked, Reinhardt should rally her from this tile and get danced by Mirabilis. Or Ophelia. Speaking of Ophelia, she's a pretty solid backup threat for blue. And a non-fully leveled Ceros, which is very strange, and a bonus weak leaf. It's an interesting team. I think it might have problems with a Brave Hector in spite of this Lancebreaker Reinhardt. But I think it probably does pretty well against most teams that aren't using isolation, since it's pretty hard to deal with both dancers and stay safe from everything without an isolation effect. So what we're going to do here is just start by testing 1 trap. Okay, that one's not real.
Yes.
We'll move Ashera here.
Close
We're going to
your
dance
eyes.
Naga.
Let's go.
Claude can help open this up.
Not my
Well,
first
Catria
choice.
opens the rest up and backs out.
It will be done.
Naga pulls Plumeria to safety.
I won't lose.
We can get Reagan over here. So from this position, we should actually be out of range of activating this map. And we'll see what happens. Yep, as expected. Nothing else happens.
To be
So
by
from
his
here,
side.
we're going to take 1 more turn to test this bolt trap, not tower.
Yes.
And then we'll be able to get things started.
There is but one future.
That one was real. That's okay.
Over here?
We'll just pull Reagan back here.
Why not?
Dance Ashera back a space.
I am the answer.
What's this?
And get in position to start this next turn.
I
So
won't lose.
unfortunately, I am going to need to take 1 more turn to set up. I need Plumeria in one of these spots so that she can dance Claude more easily next turn.
What is your desire?
But that's okay, we've got time. Alright. And from here, we can
Yes.
smite Claude forward.
Sure
He can
thing.
pick off Dorothea to start with.
Why
And
not?
then we can dense him.
Let's go.
And he can pick off Mirabilis too.
Yeah.
And from here, it's just a matter of repositioning everybody out.
Not my first choice.
It will be done.
And without the dancers, they can't catch up, so it's not too hard to deal with this from here.
What's this?
So we'll just have Claude take out Sarah's first.
Hold a grudge if you must.
Close your
And then we
eyes.
dance him,
Sure thing.
and he can take down Reinhardt. And the gravity effect keeps everybody else away from our front line.
Over here?
And we'll just have Reagan break this,
Yes.
and have Ashera start
There is but
working
one
our way
future.
towards these pots. There's no reason not to take them.
Let's
And
go.
from here, it's pretty much the same as last turn. Claude takes down Leaf,
Ready or not, here it comes.
Oh,
and then we
I'll
dance
do
him
it.
out of range of Ophelia
Sure thing.
to pick up Eliwood. And meanwhile, Ashera can pick up the first Aether pot,
Yeah.
and we'll get Reagan in position to grab the next one. We did end up running down the clock a
What
bit.
is your desire?
I probably could have done
I
this
won't
in
lose.
one less turn if I'd planned out that second turn a little
What's
better,
this?
but it worked out.
I won't back down.
This was a really fun week overall. I really enjoyed using Claude. I haven't actually used him too much before this week, so it was a fun diversion from the usual approaches. And yeah, I'm looking forward to using him again actually. I'll probably make him a regular in Earth Weeks. He's really good at picking teams apart if you plan ahead, which I guess is in character for him. Anyway, I've also set up a Discord if you'd like to hang out and chat. There's a link in the description, and I've got a Patreon page too if you want to support the channel. As usual, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Good luck with your own matches, and I'll see you next time.